All right. Hello. Welcome back, everybody. My name is Michael. Hope you're having a wonderful day so far. Today is January the 18th, Saturday, 2025. And we are back studying some computer science today in Harvard CS50X. So we are back on week two, continuing on with problem set two. Yesterday we left off after completing the Caesar problem in problem set two on week two arrays. So we are making some good progress here, and we are going to be doing the substitution, the last problem in problem set two today. So should be a fun one. Let's go ahead and get everybody in here. Here, let's go get the Discord announced here. All right. Wing Hong, welcome in. Hello. Awesome, your first one in tonight. Congratulations to you, Wing Hong. Welcome. How's it going? Welcome. What's new with you? How's your Saturday going? All right. Let's go ahead and get moving in here. Hello, Ryan. Welcome back. Long time no see, man. It just feels like these streams end and then they start back up a little bit later. We getting real familiar with each other here. Welcome in, Ryan. How's it going? Hopefully, we're a little bit better today on our problem solving. Struggling with Harvard X online probability class. Just take it at your own pace, my friend. It's yeah, you got it. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started here. All right, in a substitution cipher, we encrypt, conceal in a reversible way a message by replacing every letter with another letter. To do so, we use a key. In this case, a mapping of each of the letters of the alphabet to the letter it should correspond to when we encrypt it. To decrypt the message, the receiver of the message would need to know the key so that they can reverse the process, translating the encrypted text, called the ciphertext, back to the original message, generally called plain text. A key, for example, might be the string, right, which is this. This 26 character key means that A, the first letter of the alphabet, would correspond to N, and that the B would correspond to the Q here, right? And so forth. A message like hello would be fully, um, replacing each of the letters according to the map determined by the key. In a file called substitution, in a folder called substitution, create a program that enables you to encrypt messages using a substitution cipher. At the time the user executes the program, they should decide by providing a command line argument on what the key should be in the secret message they'll provide at runtime. All right, so design, implement your program so it encrypts messages using substitution cipher. Okay, so cool. Let's start. Sounds good. Sounds good. Come on here. There we go. Substitution. Let's open this guy up and do substitution.c. There you go. Awesome. Ryan says he's doing well. Hope all is well on your end. Yes, it is. Today was a good day. I stopped by a couple of farmers markets. I had a gift card to Chili's that I used for lunch today. So, and then I took a nap before the stream. So I'm feeling all recharged and ready to go here. Hopefully, your guys' Saturday was fun as well. Make sure you get out and do some stuff when we're not programming. Okay. So we have to have a similar kind of process to Caesar. So, right, in Caesar, we have our main argument, which is this here. Int argc string argv. And we need to verify your program must accept a single command line argument, the key used for the substitution. The key itself should be case insensitive, so whether any character in the key is uppercase or lowercase, it should not affect the behavior. If your program is executed without any command line argument, okay, if the key is invalid by not containing 26 characters, containing any character that is not alphabetical character, or not containing exactly one letter exactly once, your program should immediately print error message with your choice. Okay, so we have to have a key with 26 characters and no duplicate characters and only alphabetical characters. Okay, so let's try this. So let's go include standard io.h. Let's also include the CS50.h. SS low, 27 more. I know, right? It's so crazy. Every day we're going up a little bit by little bit. Welcome back. How you doing, Lo? It's awesome to hear from you. Okay, so we're including these. So let's go int main, which we'll do int argc, right? And string argv like so. Okay, right? Let's go back to Caesar. Int argc string argv. Perfect. Okay, right, inside of our main function. We need to do a check here and say, right, if the, similar to Caesar, right, we do a check if the argc is not 2. We also check here if the argument provided at index 1, right, the key is a to I, so we convert it to an integer. And if that integer is less than 0, we get this error. So let's go back. So we'll say if argv at index, or argv or argc does not equal to 2, right? Or we need to determine the length of the string. So str length of argv at index 1, if that is right not equal to 26, right, we'll give the error. Or, right, we run a so we have an is alpha already, like so, right? So I'm going to say key alpha check here on the argv at index 1, right? So if this return says false, right, then we're going to also do that, right? Hey Tim, how's it going? Welcome in. Yeah, Big Mike. It's awesome. Good to hear from you. Right, so if the user provides an arg count that is not 2, meaning the Write the name of the program, and then the key, right? If that is not true, then we give an error message. Similar to the one in Caesar here, right? This one here. So print usage backslash substitution. Key, right? Like that. Return 1. So we need to define this function here, key alpha check. And then in our Caesar, we do some other stuff for the successful key, right? So let's first do this key alpha check here. So we'll come down here and we'll say bool key alpha check on some key, which will be string key, right? So the key has to be 26 characters, all alphabetical characters, and only one character each. So we'll just make this a key check, right? And just say key check function, kind of like Lo mentioned, just one general function. So in this function, we need to check the following. Check return true if the key has 26 unique characters, 26 characters. Chars are unique, right? And chars are alpha. Okay? So that's our goal of this function here. So I guess we wouldn't need this check here because it's getting included in this check here. So rather than computing the string length here, let's just get rid of it here because it's going to be handled in this one. Okay. So we need to identify that first that this has 26 characters. So key length is equal to, this is going to be an integer. Key length is equal to str length of the key provided if key length not equal to 26, right? LS Dominguez, hello, how's it going? Welcome. How you doing? Okay, key length is not equal to 26. We're going to return false, like so. Right, so we get the key length perfect, okay? That's one thing. We then need to identify so what about this? What if we say instead What if we say instead, let's try like for I is equal to 0 and n is equal to stir length of the key. This is going to be integers. Well, I is greater than n, or sorry, well, n is greater than I plus plus. Okay, so now what we can do is actually just use n in this for loop. So if rather than here, we'll take this. Like so, and this will be if n not equal to 26, return false. Right, or not is alpha on key at index I, right? So what this says is that we do an is alpha check on the key at index I. If that returns false, then we return false here. So then what we need to do is make sure that each of these keys. So I think what we have to do though is, so this, we can get rid of this. So I think what we need to do though is we need to save the key into an array, because we have to be able to access each index point. Can you iterate over strings? Yeah, I think so, right? Can you iterate over strings in C? Yes, you can iterate. Okay, so you can just do a string. But you access individual characters. Okay. So what we'll do is we'll go like this. Char key array is equal to, or we have, is going to be an array with 26 value options. An array of 26. We are going to then say for every value in the length of the stir key, right? If it is alpha, we'll return false. And plus click the string keyword. Whoa. Prompts user for lines. What is this? Oh, it's just a. Huh. Oh, it just opens up the header file. Okay. Okay. Um, I finished Harvard X probability class because its contents are required for MIT X's math finance class, which started this week's prerequisite. You can reuse key length in that loop. Yeah. Has a professor graded your first assignment? Okay, so we set up a key array here. Right, we set up the key array. We check if it is, right? At this point, right, we don't want to return false. Um, else, right? If it is an alphabetical character, we can add it to our array, right? So if we pass the check, meaning that our n is 26 right off the bat. So the thing is, though, is we don't want to do this constant check at every index of I. So maybe we should just go like this. Take off this guy here. And then do an else. But I don't want to do the check at every iteration through the loop. I feel like that's kind of inefficient. So should I set up n in here outside of the loop? Do the check? And then put n in the loop though? So what if I say like this? Int n is equal to stir length of key, right? Like so. We remove this out of here. We just set n like this. We take it from here above. We do this check. Here. Right? And then we do the loop, okay? Sounds good. So we set up n. If n does not equal 26, return false right away. Else we're going to iterate through n, or iterate through, right? And then say, char key, no, key array at index I is equal to key array at index I is equal to the current character, so the key at index I. So we're just putting each value in the array. Now how can we do the determination is if every value has to be unique, right? So, I mean, with Python, you would just say, like, is in the array. And if that is true, you return false. But how in C could we say, so let's go over to the manual here. Whoops. So how in C how in C Okay, so right off the bat, let's get everything squared away. We are creating a blank array with 26 available positions in it. We are then determining the length of the key provided, the string key, and if that does not equal 26, we return false. Okay, if we get a key that is 26 available positions, so we also need to do that check here though. So if um, not is alpha right on key at index I, return false here as well. Right? Else what do we need to do then? We need to determine if every key or every character is unique in this array. How do we determine unique character? Make sure everyone is unused. Well, as long as you know that the last character wasn't in there previously, no, because then you have to keep track of every single character at every single point. Well, we could just see if the string itself contains a duplicate first, right off the bat. So is there a string, locate a substring, compare two strings. So string compare, let's see here. Case insensitively returns Okay, so that does a comparison. Hey, Sarth, welcome. It's awesome to hear from you. I'm on the same journey right now. Yeah, that sounds great. Well, let me know about it. Introduce yourself. Tell me about yourself so we can become more acquainted. It's awesome to hear from you. What's going on? How has your learning been going? What level are you at? And what kind of studying do you do? Okay, so we need to figure out how to determine each character is unique. Well, you can't just iterate through and then how do you determine uniqueness of multiple characters in an array? Well, every character will have a unique ask key value. Let me see here. Dupe. Duplicate a string. Duplicate a pipe component. Hey, what's going on, Soap? Script Serpent, welcome. What's going on? Non-trad, I was bio undergrad. Originally wanted to go to med school, but then pivoted to bioinformatics for a master's, which was like data science based, but I'm learning C and CPP now. Awesome. Well, this is the right place to be. I appreciate you joining me here. It's awesome to hear from you. Feel free to join my Discord link below where I have compiled all of my study resources into one location, like Python Crash Course, Harvard CS50X, CS50P, data structures and algorithms in Python that we've been reading live on the channel. So we've got a lot of ongoing resources and studying that we're doing, every day here. So this is a great place to be for independent studying and learning. It's awesome to have you here. Um, how do we determine uniqueness? Status, string. Hmm. Okay. So what if we let me bring up my ASCII table. Okay, I got it. I got it. I got it, I think. Hear me out. Right? If you have 26 spots, right? If you have 26 spots, you can individually insert anywhere at those 26 places. You reserve in memory the 26 places, right? You loop through, you find the equivalent placeholder that would equal the ask key. So let's say you get capital Z. Well, you get capital Z, it's 90. 90 minus 65 is 25. Well, you would have to add it to the, well, that tells you that that is the 25th, whatever, and it needs to go into the 25th spot of the key check. And then if you have unique keys, yeah, I think that that would work, if that makes any sense. So what we'll say is, right, else rather, um, 26 spots. Okay, so let's see here. We have to do the determination for is alpha and is lowercase as well, right? So let's just first handle the alpha that is alpha, or is the is uppercase. So if it's uppercase, so um, if char, no, so if key at index I, the current char we're on, right? If it is, so let's say 65 is less than or equal to key and um, key at index I is greater than, no, sorry, less than or equal to 90, right? So if it is capital, right? If the current char is cap, if it's cap, is it lying to us? Right, okay, so if it's cap, if it's a capital, we're going to take the current char, um, so key at index I minus, so I like to do this though to keep things organized. So let me see here. Let's go current char equals to key at index I here. I like to just save it. I know it's probably less memory efficient, but right. Um, current char minus 65. So so let's say we get z at 90. That'll take us down. This gives us um, ASCII val equivalent, right, is equal to this, and this is an integer. So we take the current char value, which would be 90 if it was z, minus 65 from that. Oh, I've got some chats here. Sorry, maybe it's okay, so we have the ASCII equivalent value here. Now, I don't know if we can directly convert this to an integer. Would we have to use a char to int conversion? Convert a string. Convert an ASCII character to an int. I haven't done C in a while. But I believe you'd have to typecast the character to convert it to integer before you to actually subtract it. Char is an 8-bit int. Okay, so we just leave it as char here, right? We would just leave it as char. And then we would save the value of char like we could piece together our alphabet, right? Because if you have to have 26 unique characters, that means you cannot reuse a letter of the alphabet. So that means that if you try to put a character into a placeholder into the array and there's a character already there, then then you have to return false. So we have the ASCII character equivalent. We will then say um, right, the ASCII character equivalent. We then need to try to place that ASCII character equivalent into the array at that specific point. So we go to our key array at index ASCII val equal, right, is equal to the current char, right? but we first have to detect if there is a value there. So if not, right? So if there's no value at this place, right? Then we'll set it to equal. So if there is a value at this place, if inside of our key array there is a value at this ASCII reduction position, so if there already is a z in the case of 90 minus 65 for 25, and we have a position at, this will give us 25 right here. If key array at 25, there's already a value there, we return false, right? Else, we need to save that position. We need to save this position as the current char. Right? Um, it's basically, I think, int and put the string in it. No, that's Python, I think. Um, hey, Annex Recaps, welcome. Hey, Revan, how you doing? Hey, Kay, welcome back. It's awesome to hear from you. We are so close to 1,000 subscribers, you guys. If you guys would feel so inclined to support, we're climbing on up there. We've been streaming every day for the past 2 months, really grinding towards 1K and just to increase our knowledge here. But at the end of the day, that's not what it's about. It's about the knowledge, but it is fun to to have those milestones come up that are fun. Just for our hard work paying off, just on a social standpoint, which is kind of cool. So if you guys you want to come a part of the group here, a part of the learning crew, I guess, then feel free. It's awesome. I have a Discord linked below where we can chat offline and everything. So I'm not sure if this is going to work though, because my question is that right? We have this. So let's say that our current char is 90, or is big capital Z, which has an ASCII value of 90. We are trying to. It'll take 90 minus 65 to give us 25 here. Now, do we keep that as a char? And then will that allow us to put the 25 here to access the 25th spot in our key array if there is a value already here, right? So if there is something here, return false. Else, assign that position to the current char and move on. And say, okay, we're good at this. This character has never been seen before. Let's move on. Um, dude, can the string have both uppercase and lowercase? Yes. So right now I'm only handling as if current cap is uppercase. We can do the lowercase check next, but I just thought it'd be easiest to try to tackle the uppercase right now. What do you guys think about this approach? Anyone have any disagreements? Anyone think that's what I was thinking, right? So does this have to be an int right here? Right? But can you do this conversion of char minus 65 because current char is a char, right? That was taken from the string. Char is already an integer type in C, so we can just leave this as char then? That's my question. And will this Boolean work, right? Mateo Perez, hey man, I don't know how Python works, but in Java, when you do something like char 65, you get the value instead of char. Yeah, that's what we're, okay, so, okay, we'll have to debug it and see. But this is C, Mateo, this is Python. But yeah, similar in spirit though. In that in that if statement, you are trying to state current char and current char because then it can just write and. Right, and. Yeah, I have an and here, right? C doesn't allow you, I don't think, to just use one reference to the variable and make it like that, right? I don't think C lets you do that. I'm not sure though. You can be stored as an int to be more clean with your. Okay, we'll just try that. So let's see what's happening here. We're making an array with 26 spots. Make blank array with 26 spots. Okay, we then get the length of our string. Get length of the key string, right? Right. Return false if the key length, key string length is not 26, right? Boom. This loop through key string, right? Return false if current character key string loop is not alphabetical, right? If the current char is capital, else, right? Okay, so if we pass this statement and the current char is capital, well, if the current, well, thinking about this, right? If the current char is capital, we can allow for either lowercase or capitals. So this would have to be 52 spots rather, right? Yeah, so we'd have to have 52 available positions, which will still, okay, got you. And then, because we can have either uppercase or lowercase. Okay, if we already have an N out here. Okay, yeah, got you. Thank you so much. So then, right, else if 97. So I'll just copy this here, like so, and paste it here. So else if, but this is going to say 97. and this is going to say 122. If the current char is lower, we're going to minus 97 from this side. And then get that place. So let's say that the current char is lowercase w at 119. Or so let's say that's z at 122, because this has to go into the 51st spot in our array. So 122 minus 97 gives us 25 for this value here. We index to the 25th spot. No, so actually we need to keep this at 65 because we need to go down to the 52nd spot, 51st spot rather. Sorry. So this would be if z is 122, 122 minus 65 gives us 57. No. That's 32. 57. $122 minus 32 gives us 90. Hey Marty, how's it going? Hey Scenic, how's it going? What's going on with you guys? Can you just make a check to change how much you subtract it by? So if we have 52 spots, that means that big Z has to go in 51. So 122 minus 52 is 70. 121 minus 52 is 69. Wait, why are we... So what does this have to be? If we're between 97 and 122, we need to reduce it by 97. But that would take us to 122 minus 97, 25, plus 25, plus, give us 50. What am I missing here? So if we have 97 to 122, this one we're just taking z, which is 90, minus 65, gives us 25 for this spot. Well, it's because you have these numbers in between, right? So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 numbers in between. So what if I did 122 minus 65 minus 6 gives us the 51st spot. Yes, right, perfect. So this has to be minus 65 minus 6 per our ASCII table. right? Because what's going on here is that in our ASCII chart, you have 6 characters that are in between your uppercase and lowercase. So if they were back to back, I could easily mimic this array, this current char array as that, right? But because I have 6 characters in between, I have to make another reduction by 6 to pretty much eliminate these in that recreation of that 52 character array. Right, so let's say that you have the current character is lowercase z at 122, right? Lowercase z at 122. 122 minus 65 gives us 57. Minus 6 gives us 51, which will be the last place in our array. Let's say that we're at character z, y. Um, Character z at position 121 minus 65 gives us 56 minus 6 gives us position 50, right? Because y will be the second to last position in our lowercase y will be the second to last position in this key array. Perfect. So if we're lowercase, we're going to instead remove 6 and as well as 65 and do this. But listen, hear me out actually. I think because we already did an alphabetical check, if we already determined that it is uppercase, we already know that it's lowercase, so we don't even need to do this check on the lowercase condition. If we've determined it's alphabetical and we determine that it's not uppercase, it's already lowercase by default, and we can just do this. We don't even need to do an else check, right? Right? Else the current char is by default lower, right? Perfect. And so what's going to happen here is then, what else do we need now? So at this point, we are looping through every value in our key string. We are determining if it's alpha. We are also determining that it's uppercase, and if it is uppercase, we are adequately reducing it down to its ASCII value equivalent. From 0, right? Or ASCII value difference might be the better way of saying things. Like diff here might be a better way because it's not equivalence, it's difference. Right? Okay. And so now what are we doing, right? If we've completed a loop through the entire key string, right? We're done with this loop here for else like that. Where does this go? This is closed, this is closed, this is open from here, right there, like that. Okay, like so. Okay, perfect. And then this for loop has to come out like that, and then we close the overall function like that. Jeez Louise. Okay. So after we've looped through the entire key array and placed the unique characters into their 52 characters position. If we were successfully able to do that, we can move on and then convert the text. key check. So else, right, after we complete the for loop, which is in green, we will return true here, like so. Right, after we complete the entire for loop, we will return true. Okay, so now it'll do that key check on our argv1. If that returns false at any point, we will get this message. If it returns true and this is true, or this is not true, right, then we will go ahead and move on into an actual program. Hey, General Talks, welcome. Some lo-fi beats would complete the vibe. Yeah, I know. I need to find some like chill lo-fi to play in the background. But I don't want to get like I'm really unfamiliar with like the copyright system and stuff. Like I have no idea about any of that, and so I need to find some resources or some artists that provide their music for free would be the best approach. I'm not sure how it all works with live streaming. Do any of you guys know? Um, you could even check. Yeah. Some pro optimization techniques. Initializing int ASCII value different every iteration is less optimal than pre-defining, say, int ASCII diff to 0 before the loop, then reassigning. Oh, got you. Non-copyright lo-fi. Yeah, they have mixes on YouTube. Okay, I'll have to look into that for the next stream. This also goes for any loops in general. When doing I is less than the array's length, for example, assigning array's length to a variable, then putting... Yeah, okay, I got you. So we could, rather than having this value be assigned and created and created and destroyed every single time, have it just create and reassign in memory at that position. Yeah, that's a good idea. That's a better way too. Okay, now what? Right, now what is the question? So I'm going to go over to my Caesar here. I'm going to take this string plain text. Go over here, paste it here, string plain text, get string. Now we have the string here. Let's just do a print here, f of the plain text to see if this is overall working, or of the key rather, or both of them maybe. Let's say percent string, and we'll put key here, or argv1, right? Right, let's try that. So if we provide a key, right, we're testing our function here, our functionality here for these errors. Let's try it out here. What do you guys think? Uh-oh, here we go. Bug check time. This is where it all falls apart. Do we have any example keys that we can use? Really? Didn't give us any? Give me a random sequence of a random string of 26 characters for a substitution key. Come on, the almighty orb, give it to me here. All right, here we go. Oh, get out of here. Can I get it without the hyphen? Here we go. Okay, let's take that. All right. Not me turning on the lo-fi in the background. Ryan's getting chill. Ryan is just a chill guy out here. Okay. All right, let's get moving here. So let's make substitution. All right, what errors we got? What errors we got? Oh! Um, Call to undeclared function. Okay, we need to, right, we have to reference the function out front. Ooh. Control C. Bool, like that. Okay, make substitution. Print argv1, need a colon there. We need a string h header. We need a lot of stuff here. This is always the fun part. String.h. Okay, let's keep trying it. Is alpha, we need the C type header. All right. C type dot h. Make substitution. All right, we made there. Dot slash substitution. Okay, so it didn't like that I didn't put in that key. So if I do it again and I provide, oop, hold on, nope, not that. The key ChatGPT gave us. If I give ABC here, we should get false. Okay, okay. Come on. Now let's see here if I get my GPT key. This is really exciting. Paste. Here we go. No. Oh, no. No. I just swapped the last character to a V. What do you mean? What do you mean, Ryan? Last character to a V. Okay, so something's not working here. Uh-oh. So let me go here. Let me see if we get through this part. Let me go here and print F. We'll put in the percent char here, and we'll put in the current char. Like that. And we'll see what happens. Make sub. Substitution on the key. PZU. \n. Let's try that again. Make PZ. That's all we're getting is PZ. We're stopping on the X. Why are we stopping on the X? So let me take this. Let's put it here. Let's see what happens if we put it here. Nothing. So none of our this is working appropriately. Let me go here. Let me take it away. And let me put it here. Right? Let's see if it's detecting every character. And clear. Make substitution. PZ. So our PZ is still getting here. Let me take this out. Let me put it here. Oh, we don't have current char defined here. So never mind. That's clear. Okay, so I think what's happening is is it our N here? Let me go like this. Let me just put N here, which equals the stir length of key. But then I have to do that evaluation. But what happens now? What happens if I put this here and do it? So what if I just make this M? Identifier current char. Oh, I just gotta put it one below. PZ. Okay, so it's not that. Okay. So it's stopping on our X for some reason. Why is it stopping on our X? Well, asking, we'll take 65 down. So if A is 65, 0, that place it here. I just want to know what's correct. Oh, it has more than one letter. So we're stopping on X. Why are we stopping on X? So we're successfully doing this. So then what happens if I put it here? Right, let's put it there. P. And then we fail. What? So why are we stopping at P here? What happens if I take this and put it before this false statement? And make here nothing. So nothing is reaching this false statement, right? Because we have all uppercase characters, so that's perfect. Then what about here? Right, I think we already tried this one. Just P. So if it is alpha, so what happens if we take our print, move it off, and print the ASCII value difference here? Right? $15 and $25. Okay, perfect. So that's correct. We're supposed to be getting 15 and 25. But then why is X stopping? So obviously it's happening at these return falses somewhere, so let's keep going here. And put it right above this return false statement here. $25. Okay, so it's this here. How do I detect if there's a value here? This is where it's going awry. But it should be taking 15. What happens if I take this, put it here, print the char at this position? Right? P. So I need to say if this equals none, how can you say null? Like \0? Is it \0 for null? If this is equal to null, return false. Right? We have to evaluate if there is an item at this position. If there is, return false. So if it's not null, what does \0 or quote \0 mean in C? Null character of 0. Then we'll say are blank places in the array null. And C, blank are not automatically set to null. The value of such elements depend on how the array is defined. Static int array. We haven't learned about that. So what about the is blank? We have that. I know that, right? Character classification functions is blank. So then can we set each array character? Can we pre-program every array character to be something? Can you preset every val in the array to like array of 10 equals quote \0 like that? Okay, so let's do that, right? I like that. Or we'll initialize all the values to be \0, right? So we set all of the values to \0. So if it doesn't equal to \0, return false. Right? Else we're going to override the \0 with this. So they'll have to do the same thing here. If it's not equal to quote \null close quote. Right. Single character. Like that. So we pre-assign all 52 positions in the char array to this char of null. When we access that point, we should check if it is null. If it's not, then we return false, saying that we already have a value found here. If it is null, we'll override it. So now let's go ahead and make this for this substitution. And now we get, now, okay, woo! Now we get plain text. Nice. Yes. Woo. All right, guys, we're almost there. We're almost there. Woo! Okay, right? Because we had to do an evaluation at that position. It's not like Python where you can just by default have blank spots and then say, if this is empty or if this whatever, if return that Boolean expression, you have to explicitly say that determination here. Make a 52 null spots. Make array with 56 nulls, 52 null spots. So now we'll have to give plain text ABC. And it prints our key. Perfect. Okay, awesome. So the thing is now we need to, your program must output ciphertext without a new line. Ciphertext. Okay. All right, we're almost there. So now we get the plain text. Nice, you made the key check O of n time. Yes, we only did one loop, right? That was what I wanted to do. I wanted to try to make it one loop. Right? We only need to go over each character once and do those determining checks. Oh, yeah, sweet. Awesome. That just means that we're on the right track here. Okay, you guys. So now, what do we need to do? Now we have plain text, and we need to do the conversion of plain text into ciphertext. So we're going to call convert or encrypt plain text given some plain text, right? And this will be called the ciphertext, which is going to be some string. We're then going to say print f quotes. We're going to put in here the %s and put in the this will be, say, cipher text, like so. Put that, and then we'll put in the ciphertext here, like so. Cool. So now we need to write this encrypt plain text. Given some key. So can I like truncate this so it goes like smaller? Ugh, whatever. So what do we need to do? We need to take the character, let's say hello. We need to take the character H. We need to reduce it down to its, right, 72 minus 65 will give us 7. And we need to output the corresponding value of 7 from our key string, right? So encrypt plain text. Let's write this here. Okay, so this will return us a string for encrypt plain text, and we're going to be given some plain text, right? Like so. And we also need to be given some key as well. So this will be argv index 1. Okay. What do we need to do? We need to say n is equal to, so int n is equal to the stir length of plain text. Okay. So this is going to be string, and this is going to be a string as well. Right, int n is equal to lang. We're going to say for I is equal to 0, while n is greater than I plus plus. See you later, Ryan. I'll catch you later. How far did you get on the problem? Right? For I equals 0, while n is greater than I, continually increase I. We're going to find the value. So ASCII value difference is equal to the plain text index I here. This is going to be equal to an int minus 65. This is right, but we have to also determine if it's lowercase. Right, we've already passed the is alpha check in our previous function, so we don't really need to do the is alpha here as well. We already know that these are alpha, so we can just go ahead and make the determination for if it is uppercase or lowercase. Like so, if here, command C, bring this here. Right, so if we're uppercase, we're going to get the difference here on 65. Right? Which gives us the index value to associate. But we need to build our new string though as well, right? So cipher text is equal to, or no, this will just do the printing actually for us. Similar to how we did last time. We're not going to build a new string. So we're just going to call this function then, like this, and it'll do the print for us. Okay, so we're going to take the value, the ASCII value. So let's say we get big Z here in our plain text. Well, that goes 90 minus 65 gives us 25. So we need to access the key at ASCII val difference, right? We access the key at that difference. We want to print this. Printf this quote percent char with no backslash and like that. Right, so we're just going to print. Yeah, that's what we're doing, Lo. We're doing that right now. We're encrypting the plain text right now. So we're just going to print this. So if it's uppercase, we're going to get the equivalent value for our key. Hey Arthur, welcome in. This is an algorithm. We're taking a stab at the last problem in Harvard CS50X week 2 on arrays. So this is the substitution. We completed the other problems, Scrabble, readability, and Caesar in the previous streams. Right. So this will just print the 25th value in the key provided. Perfect. For every character in the plain text. Cool. So I think that'll work. So now let's go like this. Let's see. Let me copy this example. Let me go here. That there. That looks good. Okay, let's go like this. Clear. Okay, let's make. All right. To call undeclared. Okay, so we need to take this guy. So this is going to return void. expected identifier. Where? Line 26. Um, what happened here? What is this error? Error. Line 26, expected. Close opening bracket. Oh, int I equals 0. Hey.
Egg-free cookie.
Oh boy. Give it a go. You want to try it live here?
Reaction, yeah.
All right, we got a egg-free cookie here. It looks like
There's no eggs at the grocery
looks
store.
like looks like
Marshmallow.
no, it looks like eggs on there.
Oh yeah.
Little eggs on there. Okay, egg-free cookie. Here we go. Because of the bird flu, right?
Yeah, there's no eggs.
No eggs.
Can you taste the difference?
It's really good.
Can you taste the difference without the egg?
No, not really. I mean, it's crunchy, but chewy. It's sweet. Oh, whoa. No, it's really good.
All right.
I'll finish it after my stream. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay. So we're missing something here. Expected identifier or parenthesis. Line 26. What am I missing? One error. Well, I have this little thing here. There's a semicolon. Oh, you're right. Thank you. Okay, too many errors here. Undeclared identifier current char. Okay. Ooh, we'll go. Current char is equal to plain text at index I. Like that. Right? That's clear. We're getting close. We're almost there. This has to be a char. Okay, we're almost there. Here we go. Okay, here we go. We make substitution. We're going to do substitution not of this key, but of this key here. So we can test it. All right, ready? Okay, that passed our check. Okay, cool, right? So that had to pass our key check, which it did. Thank you to whoever just subscribed. I really appreciate it. The balloons just went off. We're almost to 1,000 subscribers, which is really, really crazy. Really quickly, before I run this, I'll get this, build the suspense here. My name's Michael. I'm about to turn 26 years old here in a few days. My birthday's on the 23rd. I'm gonna turn 26 years old. I've been teaching myself Python for the past 6 7 months, just out of my own free will. I graduated back in college from college back in 2021 with a degree in human biology and a minor in chemistry. I worked as the undergraduate teaching fellow for the chemistry department at my university. I also was an undergraduate laboratory instructor, the only one that was with the graduate students. I was a job that I applied for and I got, so I was really, really involved in the chemistry department and just into that that space of physical science. From college, right after I graduated, like a month after, I got a job at a biotech company here in the Bay Area, California, where I work as a formulation chemist. So I've been doing that for 3 years. I'm a scientist too, a kind of a mid-level scientist, kind of pushing up for that senior role soon, hopefully. And I've just been teaching myself Python because I just enjoy computer science. I enjoy various concepts like this. I think it's really fascinating that we have computers just off of these physical elements that I manipulate in my labs, which is just really crazy that we're able to create all of this from physical elements, and it's just really mind blowing. So I find it really fascinating, and we've been teaching ourselves for about 6 7 months out of various resources like CS50X, the data structures and algorithms in Python book that we've been reading, Python crash course that we read live on this channel. I have a Discord link below where I provide all of my resources, including PDFs of the books that we read live on the channel. So Python crash course, DSA in Python, Fluent Python, all of those books. I have resources in my Discord link below, as well as I have let me show you really quickly. I have like a whole entire thread going for the various um, topics here of CS50X. So we have a week one. After we finish week two, I'm gonna post a week two thread where I have my repo for all of my notes that we took live on stream. I have the links to the live stream that we did where we actually watched the lecture. I have the condensed recordings where I re-uploaded them, and I also have the links to the live streams like this where we solve the problems live. And so I provide everything outlined in this kind of roadmap. We have Python crash course with my personal notes, a link to the PDF. We have a lot of different things. So we even have a community resources tab where current students in their own studies have provided resources. So the Discord is a great place to be if you're a beginner wanting to get some experience with programming and as in a similar front that I have been experiencing so far. So yeah, and we're just doing the CS50X right now alongside. So let's go ahead and let's try it out. Hello here. All right. We should get capital E, lowercase h. Or wait, I don't think we did. Hold on. We're not done yet. We're not done yet. We have to. Ah, shoot. We're not done yet. We have to account for lowercase here. Right? So we'll say else here. We'll take this here, like so. Put it here. Put this back one, like so. This has to be -6 as well, similar to this value. Now, I could just put this all in this function here, just to make it, because I'm already doing these checks here, and right, but it's okay. These are constant operations. It's not too much time lost, but it is a lack of efficiency as well. Hey Ryan, have you ever tried LeetCode? Yeah, so if also on the channel, so my normal format on the channel is that in the beginning we'll usually take a stab at reading some additional pages, 5 or 10 pages out of the current book that we're doing. So right now we're doing data structures and algorithms in Python. We're on page 325, so we've made a lot of progress. We haven't done a couple readings in a few days, but we need to catch back up. And then we'll take our readings and do projects. So I have a project going on right now called the Small Business Manager, where we take in items, convert those items into for sale items and sold items, and then we also can take in expenses now and cross relate those to generate business reports, which is really cool. So we have this project that we built live from zero, from scratch, from a blank file, all on the channel. So really cool there. And so we take our learning that we do at the beginning and then we apply it into real projects. This is data structures and algorithms in Python. I have a copy of this in my Discord linked below, along with an ongoing link to my repo where I have ongoing markdown notes and solutions to the in-text problems. So at the end of every chapter, they have reinforcement problems, and we've solved probably all, over 100 problems so far out of this book. Yeah, Low says there is upper is lower functions, right? We have those functions in here. I kind of just wanted to, the purpose of why I did this is I'm trying to get familiar with this, the ASCII format, because this is all new to me, is, using ASCII. Like Python handles that all for you, right? So I, I'm getting familiar with these ranges and stuff, but you can definitely use those functions here, right? I'm sure it's probably something similar to this. Like it's probably it returns a true statement if this is true, right? It probably does something very similar. Yeah, SS low, exactly. Cool. So now, right, it's -6, right? -65 -6. Okay, perfect. So let's see now what happens. Let's go ahead and make this. Make substitution. Let's put in our key here and let's type in hello exclamation point. All right. Okay, give me your bets, guys. 0 if you think this is fail or will fail. 1 if you think that this will work. Are we gonna get what they got here? They got EHBBQ exclamation point. That's what we should get here. 0 if you think we're gonna fail. 1 if you think it'll work. Give your messages here. Ryan or SS Low says 1. Sweet. Is that Python crash course book in the back pretty good? Yeah, Ryan, if you're definitely a beginner, I use the Python crash course book paired with Harvard CS50P. Harvard CS50P was a great introduction, but it did have some gaps that I felt for true beginners that had never seen code that were kind of, a little bit large. And so I filled those gaps by reading this book. Yes, it did kind of have to retouch and re-go over some stuff I already learned, but it even more solidified those beginner concepts. So when I was learning more advanced things, I'm not going back and having to reference what lists are, what tuples are, what indexing is, what functions are. No, no, no. I have a firm foundation already in those beginning concepts so that I can, be successful in my future studies. That's the whole point of that. So I have a copy of that with my notes, with everything in the Discord below. All right, a lot of people think we're going to believe in us here. So here we go. No! Oh no. Dang it. Oh, what happened? What happened? Oh, that is such a bummer. Oh no. So we need to print the ciphertext, right? Above the for loop. So we have to do a print f here for cipher text like that. And then after the loop we print a new line, right? So if we make this and then do this and do hello, now we get this. So we are not quite there. Dang it. EL hash hash S. Yeah. Oh, shoot. Hmm. Else if. So we actually should do this check for the lowercase because right, because we have non-alphanumerics or alphas. So the lowercase check is going to be 197 to 122. To 122, right? And so we need to say then else, right? If we are just getting a regular character here, we just need to print that character. %I, %C, current char, like so. So now if we make this, go here, do hello, now we at least get the exclamation point back. So it's just our conversions now. So L's are becoming forward slashes, which are where in our chart? Here at line 47. So 76 minus 47 is what? 29. So if we're on, let's say, capital H, which is 72, 72 minus 65 is 7, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Because we're 0 indexed. So plain text index I minus 60. So if we're looking for the first character, which is 0, which is H, 72 minus 65 is 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right, the 7th index. So let me take this and let's print f the integer value for this and see what it comes out to be. Let's make here, let's type in H, exclamation point. We get 7E, exclamation point. Right, 7 and E. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And we should be getting E. Perfect. Now let me take this and put it here and see what we get for the lowercase letters now. So we'll make substitution HE, exclamation point. We get the E. This becomes 30 L. The E is becoming 30. So in our ASCII table, we have lowercase e, which is 101. 101 minus 65 minus 6 is 30. No, okay, so that's what's going wrong here is the lowercase values. So we need to go 101 minus, so E is the 0, 1, 2, 3, fourth index. Wait, but we're only providing a key of capital letters. Okay, so we're reflecting it to the key and then translating that to lower than. If the key is provided in all capitals, okay, so what we have to do then is if it's lower, you want to take 32 away and then take 65 away. So we'll have 101 minus 32 gives us to 69, which is the equivalent of E in uppercase. We then take away 65 from that to give us the index value of 5. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Sorry, yeah, take away 65, which is 4. So, right, it's 101 minus 32 minus 65 gives us the fourth index value, E. But I want to print, I don't want to print the uppercase version, right? So now this will work for just everything in uppercase though. So if I make here, go here, but I type in hello, it'll give us everything in uppercase. Now we need to handle the conversion of this back to lower. So we need to take the key ASCII value and add to it 32. Perfect. And I think that is our problem. Haha. I didn't like that. So we'll take this lower encrypted lower is equal to key is just this plus 32, and then we'll just put in here the encrypted lower. Like so. So now if we run this, we need a declaration here of char. We need a close parenthesis. Hello? All right, here we go. Yes! Woo! Woo! Solve that problem. All right, I think that this might mark us done with CS50 week 2. Nice. Woo! So let's go substitution like this. With 1, 2, 3. Right? Perfect. Hello. Nice. All right, so let's go ahead and check 50 this bad boy. All right, do you guys think we're gonna pass or fail? 0s if we're gonna pass, check fail, check 51 if we're gonna pass. 0, are we gonna fail? 1, are we gonna pass? What do you guys think? I don't know. We might have some edge case. Ah, shoot. We got some edge cases here we got to account for. Ah, sorry, Lo. Failed you. um, okay, so we have encrypts. This is CS50 as using this key. Output not valid ASCII text. So let me take this key here. So what happens if the key, though, is all lowercase? Oh, what happened to my thing here? Anyone know what's going on here? Okay, there we go. Weird. Hey, Brian, welcome. Ryan says, so you've been teaching yourself CS from Harvard videos and books. Nice job completing too. Yeah, exactly. So we started with Harvard CS50P, and then we've been teaching, books. In my opinion, that's kind of all that college really is just the reiteration of already established concepts in books. You're pretty much forced to buy textbooks at the beginning of the classes to read out of and teach yourself anyway. So why I'll just bypass the middleman and kind of do things myself and then stream along the way in case anybody else is interested in that as well. Okay, so we need to handle when um, the key is all lowercase. This is CS50. So it doesn't like it's supposed to give us a KH50, which you get here. Okay, so let's think here. In our bool check here, that is passing. So what's happening is it's in our this here. So if the current char in our plain text index I hmm so it doesn't like our lowercase letters here, and also our uppercase letters are not staying uppercase if our key is lowercase. So right, if we are in an uppercase situation where the current value is uppercase, we want to print that value in uppercase as well. So we just need to subtract 32 . So we need to determine if the, so before the print, if the So we'll say if key index ASCII val diff, right? If this is lowercase, right? If the current char we're on is uppercase, we need to present it in uppercase, no matter what. So if the key at this current position is in the range of the lowercase realm of 122 or 97 to 122. So if 97 less than or equal to key at this and key at ASCII val diff less than or equal to 122, right? We're going to print that minus 32 as such, right? So we will subtract 32 from the lowercase value to represent it in uppercase. Else we'll just print like so. Okay, now if the current character we're on is lowercase, right, and if the current character we're on is lowercase and our key reports in lowercase, we want to also report that in lowercase. That. So if the current char we're on is lowercase, we're going to find the ASCII difference by reducing down by 65 and 32. We're going to add 32 I'm confused. So if, shoot, we're really close. Let me just take this, actually, put it here. Like so. Remove this altogether. So if it's lowercase and the key, if we have a lowercase character and the key that is given is all lowercase, so what are we doing here? For lowercase, we are finding the difference and printing it in lowercase here. So when you say if this is in that range, like so. So else if the current char, this is getting really complicated. Else if the current char we're on is lowercase, right? In our plain text, we need to represent this char in lowercase via, right? So oh, this is getting confusing. Lots of if else. So we're slowing down here, guys. If the current char is lowercase, we're going to find the ASCII value difference by converting it to uppercase and then converting that to the key equivalent, right? Now we have the ASCII value difference, which represents our key. So if inside of our key, if it's uppercase, well, we need to subtract, add 32 back to that to represent it in lowercase like we originally were. Else, just print the char. Else printf here. Like that. So now if I run this for this, hello, dang it. Oh. I'm getting confused. So it doesn't like it when the current value is here. So if the current value is lowercase, we're going to find the ASCII value difference by going down 32 and then down 65. If we're going to use that value to find the key representation, if that key is also lowercase, we're just going to print it. We don't want to print plus 32. Right? Else, if it's uppercase, the key is uppercase, we want to print it plus 32 here. Right? Yeah, right. Bro side outing his chat. Yeah, I'm reading some of Lowe's comments here. I'll give you guys a little. Okay, so I think that'll do it. Okay, I think this works now. Let's make sure it works with that other one. Okay, let's try it here. Come on, show me the money. Show me the money. Come on. Woo! Yes! There we go. All right, that was CS50 week 2. A round of applause. Good job to everybody out there that was following along with me here and completing week 2. We have successfully. Cheers to you guys. Got some lemonade here. Cheers to you guys. All right. Nice. So, Evil Name Keon says, why were we checking lowercase, uppercase? Well, because looks like there was a parameter within the CS50 checks here that checked an all lowercase key. So if you needed to resemble your whatever your plain text was given in, you had to resemble that, right, one to one with the capitalization rather, but you convert the characters. So we had to account for if the key was and vice versa. Nice. So cool. So cool. Any general questions, you guys? Anybody that is following along with me here? Anybody have any questions or things they want me to kind of go back over for this problem? It was a little bit of a long one, almost over 100 lines of code here to solve it. So now, obviously, it's not all perfect. I definitely have places where I could optimize better, reduce things down into functions. I probably could even make, right? I'm doing all of these checks, accessing this key value difference, like in all of these as well, in this other function as well. So I could, make my bool check also return. I mean, it would be difficult because this one returns a bool for that check if it's a valid or not, and then we actually do a conversion within this one as well. So there are places where we can, optimize down further, but it seems pretty straightforward here. Anybody have any general questions or concerns here? How did you check unique characters in the key in O of n time? Yeah, let me show you. Perfect. That one worked great. Nice. Awesome. So let me show you guys. So we were able to keep an O of n time complexity for checking unique characters. So this is what I do, right? So in our main function here, right? Our main function, we check to make sure the arg count is 2, right? The first arg count will be for the actual call to start the program name, and then the second arg count will be the key or the key for this, substitution encryption, right? If this returns false, this key check function I wrote on that key, then we're going to throw this error, right? So the key check function is down here. So I'll walk you guys through what we're doing here. To make sure that the key is valid in the substitution problem, I first create an array size 52 to house all characters of both uppercase and lowercase. If you think about it, let me bring up a whiteboard. I have an array here, a key array, right, which is equals and is an array like this, right? Well, if you think about it, the alphabet has 26 places, right? Well, for uppercase and lowercase, that's 52 places. You can think of an array as just blank slots that can be filled, right? That's what an array really is. It's a blank spots that are filled with contiguous in memory that are filled with same data types, right? That's the definition of array, and it's in contiguous memory. So we have 52, times 52 blank spots, right? Now think about it in order. Big A would go here, big B would go here, dot, 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 right, all the way, and then little a would go here, little b would go here, little c would go here, right? We can dynamically fill in this array kind of like an answer, like an answer to a question, right? Does big A exist already in this array? So let's go back. We're looping through our plain text over and over and over again. We're looping through our plain text over and over again. we come across the first letter in our plain text. Let's say our plain text is hello, right? Let's say it's capital H, lowercase e, lowercase l, right? We have hello, right? Well, we know that we have first come across in our first iteration big H, capital H. Well, let's go ahead and access the right. Let's say that big H goes right here. This is the big H spot, right? Because 52 spots in our arrays gives a spot for every capital and every lowercase letter. Let's say that this is the placeholder spot for big H in our array. Well, let's go check. Do we have already a value at that place? Assuming that if there's a value there, it is big H, capital H. Oh, we don't because this is the first letter we've ever seen and come across. So let's go ahead and put that there. Boom. We filled it in. That letter exists. Let's say now we have an H at the end of our string here, and we go through and we come across this again. Okay, we're going to do the same type of thing and go to the big H spot in this 52 arrays sequence, 52 place sequence, array sequence, and say, is there a big H that has already been seen and saved in the array? Oh, yes, there is already an element or data type here, assuming that is already H, because it's at the placeholder that is for H in 0 to 26 for capitals or 0 to 26 for lowercase. Well, that's true, so we already have a data type there, so we're going to return false. This is not a unique element. But let's say that, you keep going for all your other letters. Well, E would go A, B, C, D, E, F, G. E would go somewhere over here. The L's would go over here, right? That's just for this key. Now, this is for the example hello, right, where you would have two L's, so this wouldn't be a valid key, right? You have two L's in this string, so hello wouldn't be a valid key. But for a key of let's say we have a key of A, B, C, D is our key, right? Right, like that. Well, we would iterate through, we would capture the first letter, find the spot in our 52 spot array that big A would correlate to. If there is no data element, place it there, save it there. Okay, let's go to our next one, big B. Let's find the big B spot, which is right here. Is there anything here? No, there's not. Let's go ahead and save it. We're good. We can move on from this letter. Same thing with C, same thing with D. Now let's say, though, that we had a reoccurring A at the end of our string here, right? Well, we would get to this A. We would travel in memory to this location where we would be housing big A. We would detect that we already had seen an element big A, like from the beginning there, and we would immediately return false here. So that's how we did it in O of n time. Does that make sense, SS Low? You have 52 placeholders in your array. If a placeholder is filled, that's because you have already seen that element. Well, you can check if the char is unique by checking if the char repeats itself twice. If yes, then not unique. Yes, exactly. But how do you save all of those previous, values? How do you save all those previous values, right? Evil, you need to be able to save them all. And then also is if you need to then detect that you've already seen it. So if you save it in an array, right, in O of n time, and then if you iterate over that array again, those saved values to detect. So if you say, okay, I'm going to go ahead and just save it in this array. Now I'm going to iterate over that array again and see if it's already in there. Well, that would cause two for loops nested together in O of n squared time. So this would be the better approach than, unfortunately, what you were depicting there. If you saved it into an array and then looped over the array once again, over that unique array, because you're already looping over your plain text once. So if you then create a new array and loop over that one subsequently, that causes two for loops nested, causing O of n squared time. Yeah, exactly. Like SS Low just said, he said, I literally checked every char in the key with every other char, meaning nested loops. So if you think about it, right? Have you guys ever seen that video of algorithms visually seen algorithms being solved where it's like it's filling in like a right triangle. It's like a visual representation of algorithms being solved in real time. We can probably try to watch it on the channel. It's a really cool video. Um, in terms of their speed. And if you were to check, I would start with A. I would then say, okay, I have A. I'm going to check B. I'm going to check C. I'm going to check D. Okay, we're good. It's not there. I'm going to go to B. I'm going to check C. I'm going to check D. Okay, we're good. I'm going to go to C. I'm going to check D. I'm going to check B. I'm going to check A. Okay, we're good. I'm going to go to D. I'm going to check C, B, A. As you can see, that caused four different kind of recursions or n amount of recursions n times n or n squared recursion. So I think SSLO, your algorithm would have an initial n iteration for your um, initial for loop over your plain text, and then an n squared iteration down here, giving you a total of n times n squared or n cubed. So I think that your time would have been n cubed actually in yours, which would have been even slower because you had an initial for loop and then you cross-referenced every element with n twice. So that's n times n squared for n cubed, maybe. Now, I'm still trying to get the hang of this stuff, but that's my thinking of it. Right. Cool. Any other Hey Ryan, welcome. You just we just finished the problem. You got back just in time. They don't call me SS Low for no reason. No, you're all good. That's funny. It's achievement that you were able that you solved the problem, right? Now just try to find ways to learn to optimize it further. We solved this one, Ryan. Evil says you could have used the merge sort for this problem, right? I'm not exactly sure. I'm not. We haven't gotten to the merge sort example in our data structures and algorithms yet. So um, when we get there, we might be able to refactor that in. But I just haven't learned about that yet. Evil. Yeah. So Ryan, we submitted this one, but we had this checks that we failed here for when the key was all lowercase. So we had to do a couple more if statements within our validation of the conversion from plain text to encrypted text or ciphertext by detecting if the value in the key was lowercase compared to if our value was uppercase or not. So it was kind of like this back and forth. Um, so keep that in mind when you solve is that it does give you a key option that is all lowercase as well. But you do have to convey all of your plain text in the equating or equal representation of capitalization. So that was a little bit of a check that I had to think about at the very end there. But very, very cool. Any other questions on this one, you guys? If you guys are enjoying the stream here, enjoying the content, please feel free to throw it a thumbs up. I really, really appreciate you guys and all your support. You guys are more than supportive and kind and to me and everything. I really, really appreciate you guys being here. Let's go ahead and let's get it. Get a sub count on the channel here. We were coming up on 984. Wow. We jumped up like 10 on the stream already. We're so close to 1,000. Oh my goodness. Anybody have any good ideas for 1,000 subscribers special? Should we do like an extra long stream or should we do a collaborative project? I was thinking also we could open up um I think it would be kind of fun to open up Pokemon cards on the channel and then I'll just give them away. Um, I'll put them in like in a binder and just give them away to somebody, like as a lucky person or something would be kind of fun. Um, I had that idea as well. I kind of wanted to, open up a Pokemon card pack every stream and then collect them over the course of like every 2 weeks, take all the cards that we opened and then give them away in just like a one mass binder to somebody, a lucky person. What do you guys think about that idea? I think that would be pretty fun too. Because, yeah, the stream has been growing really awesome rapidly and It's been pretty successful here. W idea. Yeah, I think it's such a cool idea. Like every stream, like towards the middle or something, if we just like to break things up, if we open up a Pokemon card pack, and then every 2 weeks we just take all the cards, put them in a binder, and then send it to somebody as a gift. I think that'd be fun. That'd be a lot of Pokemon cards though over the course of the year. That'd be fun though. Okay, let's go ahead and so we've completed this guy here. All right, that's the end of week two. Nice. I'm really happy we finished that one. Honestly, I will say after grinding through Caesar yesterday, um, let me know what you guys think. Um, After grinding through Caesar yesterday, substitution, in my opinion, was a lot easier. Yeah, we did solve it in 2 hours, right? Two and a half, 2 hours and 15 minutes or so. It took us, another 2 hours to solve or so, because it just the sheer amount of requirements it asked us to do. But you know, I think that the Caesar really, really helped to. If you're doing this on your own, I highly suggest doing both problems, Caesar and substitution. If you just do, you can only have to do one, but by doing Caesar and grinding through it, even though it's supposedly the easier of the two, I felt that substitution wasn't that hard compared to Caesar. Now, I think that's just because that Caesar was my first, introduction into encryption and stuff like that. And so it was a little bit of a learning curve maybe that I was facing compared to my second, stab at with substitution. But I highly recommend doing both of these because I found myself being more comfortable with substitution after I had attempted and finished Caesar. Um, yeah. Let's take a look at week three really quick and see what's kind of prefaced here. Algorithms, binary search, sorting, bubble sort, selection sort, merge sort. And then we get into time, complexity, and recursion. Okay, so this will be a really, really good one for refreshing our concepts in DSA and Python. So this is really great. We've taken all of these little these resources and they're all coming together here, and and then we're starting to see them start to pop back up in other topics. So we're just setting ourselves up for success basically, as best as we can. I like their little thumbnail thing. They have David all outlined here. W idea. This guy knows what they're talking about. Working through sub is definitely easier having figured out Caesar. Yeah, definitely. So also something I did have to look up though. I will be 100% transparent. Is that in order to have that O of n time complexity for having just accessing kind of dynamically those reserved positions for each of the characters in the lowercase and uppercase of the alphabet, right? The 52, you have 26 uppercase, and then the back 26 are lowercase. And so by that, for the detection of repeating characters, um, right, what I had to do was I had to initialize that array. Um, where is it? Main, Caesar convert. Oh, this is Caesar. That's why. I had to initialize this array. I was initially getting some bugs where I wasn't actually, performing this check, right? I was saying just if this doesn't exist, and that wasn't satisfactory because I actually had to have some sort of element to detect. Now, like in Python, I can dynamically set, by using the multiplying operator or the asterisk, right? I can create a list with none times 10, basically. And so that will create 10 none elements inside of that array. But so I had to do something similar in this, and this is how I did it, was by making null, the null object, the escape 0 character for every 52 spots in the array. And then I overrode the null character with the found value, the unique value, right? If it was not null, return false, meaning that it had already been overridden or overrode, right? Else, override it with the found value. So we return false if you already had a found value there and not null, making that detection for uniqueness, which is what was cool. Once you understand the DSA concepts, the coding part becomes easier, but you just got to implement algorithm based on the problem. Yeah, exactly. I'm finding that these algorithms just keep coming up over and over and over again. You know, there are other ways to solve them, you know, slower ways that you could definitely try to find yourself, but uh, you know, it seems like these patterns that people keep talking about just keep reoccurring like in nature kind of naturally, like, oh, you have this data, you need to process it this way, and once you know how to process it, it just becomes kind of like um, a quick, hopefully a quick process. All right, you guys, let's go ahead and shift focus here. So that was all of week 2 for Harvard CS50X. So we have completed 3 weeks so far, 0, 1, and 2, and we'll be moving on to week 3 in algorithms. Probably maybe tomorrow we'll watch the lecture for week 3. We'll do a watch along tomorrow morning, and then do maybe a double feature stream in the back half of tomorrow to you know, work on some actual projects and stuff, because I know that the lecture watching can be a little bit boring at times, but we got to do it. Anywho, let's go ahead and move on from this. That was all of week 2 here. So let's go ahead and open up our small business manager here, and let's just take a stab at getting seeing where we are here before we kind of wrap things up for today. We have been streaming for over 2.5 hours so far, so we're doing pretty good. So we have our main program here. So let me go ahead and run this and show you guys what's going on. So in VS Code here, we have our small business manager project. And for those that don't know, that in my stream, we both learn material, we learn new concepts, but then we also apply that material into live projects that we build from scratch. Um, I will say I'm going to message somebody. I had a person reach out to me personally on Discord, asking some advice about how to get a project started. Hey, I am streaming right now. I can go over how I start projects if you are here. We'll see what he says. I get the feeling I'm a slow boy, but I can always refactor as long as it works. Yeah, I feel the same way too. I like to kind of just get all my thoughts out there and then refactor once I have like a working thing. But sometimes, you know, also it could be easier just to make it easier on yourself from the start and kind of, you know, have clean code from the beginning, I guess you could say. But it's all a learning process, right? Right, Ryan? Okay. If we press 1 here, we enter into the Small Business Manager by Michael Deming. And then we can enter into any sort of inventory. We can view the inventory, view all the items that are here, and so we need to fix that. So the views, I will say, the views we need to make better functions for. So let's go back to the main menu here. If we go to expenses, we can add an expense, use today's date, $10. Description was company lunch. Category, food. Method, credit card. Expense, no, none, right? Evil says, Michael, you're really good at making progress. You're already surpassed. No, try not to, don't make comparisons. Comparisons are the thief of joy, as they often say. I would just, you know, we all, you know, progress at different levels. And I just will preface this, you guys, is that I just do put in a lot of time every day into doing this. And, you know, I do have a platform here of the stream and coming up on 1,000 subscribers to also help motivate me to keep, you know, going. I would be lying if I said that I would be doing, you know, that I would probably be keeping up with this pace if I didn't have this channel. Well, that's probably not true. Like, If I didn't have the YouTube channel to come and sit down in front of and talk with you guys and work through these problems, I might, only do this, 3 or 4 times a week, not, 7 times a week. Um, I will 100% attest that you guys in this stream, you know, really, really motivate me to continually sit down in front of my stream and log in and just work. And so, because you guys hold me accountable, I want to talk to you guys. I want to, work through these problems with you guys. So I think it's just fun. So, um, I will say that I would be have done a lot less hours if I did not have the stream to help support me and back me up. And not everyone has a stream that they're that they built up and stuff. And so it is different for everyone on those stances, right? So I will just say that if you're doing 2 days a week, 3 days a week, 4 days a week, then that's perfectly fine. Just do whatever you personally can do, to make yourself feel better. Now, if you get that feeling like oh, I think I could do more. Like I feel like I could do more. I'm kind of guilty. I'm kind of spending too much time playing video games. Well, if you think that you're playing too many video games, or I'm spending too much time just going out and spending money or whatever, or developing habits that you don't want to prioritize. Not saying that those habits are bad, but if you just don't want to prioritize those habits, then you have to have that conversation with yourself about what do I really want? Do I want to spend more hours doing this, committing to this? I had that personal conversation with myself where I was like, do I really want to learn this? Do I want to dedicate the time of my life that I can't get back to learning these concepts that that is kind of an investment? I don't know where this will take me in the future. I don't know what doors this will open. It's really, like I said, just for fun at this point. And so, am I okay with that? And I said, yes, I am okay with that, because at the end of the day, I'm improving my mental state. I'm improving my education, which I think is just as important as as physical health and stuff like that. So, are you a fellow coffee enjoyer? I do like coffee. I will say my girlfriend drinks a lot more than me. I'm not the kind of cup a day person, but I will have a cup at work when I am needing a boost, like in the afternoon or in the mornings. I'm not opposed to it, but I kind of try to not have too much like caffeine and stuff, just because it does make me a little bit like antsy and jittery and anxious sometimes, but I will say I am a sucker for soda and pop, but I have been kind of cut back my intake. I've been drinking a lot more juice and water lately, and I'm trying not to buy as much soda. If I'm at a restaurant or something, I'll get a drink, get a soda, but I'm trying not to buy like 2 liters and stuff. That's my like New Year's resolution, I guess. Just because I do notice that I do feel physically better when I like limit the much sodas I drink. Sam, hey, how's it going? Hi, do you know any back end? I'm not sure like too much about what it takes to kind of formulate a back end really. I currently know Python basics kind of to an intermediate level, and I've been able to formulate some projects and manage file I/O and things like that along with Python and stuff. And so I have a kind of an intermediate knowledge, but in CS50X that we're currently taking live on this channel. Let me back that out. Right, CS50X that we're currently taking live on this channel. This is going to teach us all about that full stack CS setup of SQL, Python backend, HTML, CSS, C. So this should if you're interested in that, go ahead and look into this course and taking it alongside me. We just finished week 2 today. Thank you so much for coming in, Sam. Um, we should make a stream where we all log in and just work. Yeah, inspire each other to work. Yeah, that's exactly what this is, right? You don't necessarily have to be following along with what I'm doing on the screen. If you have your own work, like if you're in school, if you're in high school or college, or if you have just work for your profession or whatever your job, you can just throw the stream on in the background to have companionship or camaraderie, and just to some people just like to get things done, with a companionship or with a partner. And so if you have, someone there that you're working alongside, and you don't have to be working on the same things, but it just kind of creates that environment of, success. And then if I'm accomplishing things and you're accomplishing things, then it just kind of I don't know. There's something about that, like, human psyche of, like, doing things together that just really propels you forward. So thanks so much for coming in, Sam. Follow along if you're interested in doing this with me. And yeah, I stream every day here. So we should have a meetup in 50 years to see how everyone's doing. That's funny. Like a high school reunion. All right, so let's see here. So if I go to my expenses JSON file here, right, we can add an expense. Yes. 100. Description, test, test, test. Cool. And that got added there. Nice. Okay, so what I want to do. Thank you, Sam. We're close to 1,000 here. Man, I got the hiccups. I gotta hold my breath. Hold on. Let me hold it. All right, hopefully they're gone now. Got the hiccups here. Okay, so what I want to do is, right, when we go back to the main menu, we have a settings menu here. And in our settings menu, we can access expense settings. And I want to be able to, right, I want to be able to have the user hard code sets of expense categories and methods, basically. So what we'll do here is we'll say, we create this menu, we match the user input with case 1 here. So if they say add expense category, we'll get input here for add expense category. If they press 2, but if they press case quote 3, we'll go main menu, right? Settings menu, like so. And we'll clear terminal here as well. If case 2 is going to be here is going to be clear terminal, and we're going to run like so. Clear terminal, add expense category. So this will be add expense method, like that. No print. And then if they press 3, we'll go back to the settings menu here. So, and then we'll say here, case 2, we're going to go back to main menu here. Main menu has a clear in it. So if we run yes, expenses, or main menu, settings, expenses settings, right here. Now if we press 1, we break, right? We need to add expense category here. So let's go, right, I'm just gonna make this function right down here, and then I'll copy it out later. So for this, right, we're gonna say, I don't like it's too zoomed in. New expense category is equal to input, and we'll say new expense category like so. We will title this user input. We'll say try to so in our expenses class we have a category set here. Try to add new expense category except, right, the add actually doesn't throw any error, it just passes over if not found. So silently, so we can just do this, and then we can say, we'll just add the expense. So I'll first, though, I want to display to the user print expense dot categories, right, like so. So I go here, yes, expenses or settings, expense settings, add category, boom, we get the empty set there. And so after we add it, we want to call back to settings menu, or to so do we have an expenses menu? We do. So this would be expense settings, like that. We would call that, and we'd call a clear terminal here as well. So if they press, we have the settings menu. If they press 1, they go into expense settings. Like this, right? And the expense settings is going to have this inside of it. Like that. So we'll come here and go def expense settings. And we'll paste this in. So we'll match the user input. We'll create a menu. We'll match the user input. We go back to expense settings, settings menu. If I go back here, if they press add expense method, so I'll go here, I'll take this here, like that, print expense dot methods, right? New expense method is going to be this, new expense method dot title. We're going to add the new expense method to the methods. Method set. And then clear the terminal and go back to expenses menu here. Expense settings here. Perfect. So now let me run here. Let me see here. Yes. Settings. Let me zoom in here for you guys. Expense settings. Add expense category. Category test. Right? Now if I go back to add expense category, it's in there. Perfect. So then if I go cat test again, it's not going to duplicate it like a list. Instead with the set, it's going to pass over and just realize that it's already there and do nothing. So even if I give cat test here like that in lowercase, if I go back, right, I'm title casing it, so it's going to add it in like that, which is really cool. So there's with sets, you have uniqueness, right? This is Python JOS. Thanks so much for coming in. We're working on a small business manager project right now that we wrote from scratch. So now what we'll do is we do have to eventually save these, right? We have to save these in some sort of file. So maybe we'll save these as its own expense at the beginning of this file here, right? Which would be cool. Yeah, JOS Python. Do you know any Python? Have you been learning programming? What's your experience? Thanks so much for coming in. It's awesome to hear from you. Hey, Coding Mountain Man. Awesome to hear from you. Been watching some of your videos. I really like them. Your subs are going up. Nice job. Yeah, thank you so much for your support. Trying to catch you here, Coding Mountain Man. You're the man. Appreciate you. What was it like, Mountain Man, to have your video like blow up like that? Was your YouTube notifications just going absolutely crazy? Like, I can't imagine having like 100,000 notifications. Like, that just seems so bizarre. Like, what does it do? Does it like? I've always wondered that. So we need to improve display of cats, right? Um, and new expense method here, like so. Nice. So if we run here, yes. Settings, expense settings, add method, new expense method. Okay, so we need to add in here like that. Test, right? That's test. That shows up. Good. Okay, so a blank category does not work. So we need to add an option, say, Coding Mountain Man said, it scared me hot. For a week, could not keep up with comments. Many comments for sure. Yeah, I bet that was crazy. I bet that was nuts, like to read all those. But it's gotta feel so good to get all that, positivity coming your way. Have you had with having like that mass amount of people come towards you? Have you seen like you obviously got a lot of support, but have you seen like an influx in the amount of like negativity also? I still am trying to figure out the best ways myself, to, even on the small scale, to combat some of the negativity, even on the small. You guys obviously do a great job of keeping it positive, but every once in a while there comes a bad apple that kind of likes to throw some negativity towards. And I think my current philosophy is just to kind of, you know, to see them, you know, say hello to them. A lot of the times they might just need like a hello or like a hi, and realize that this is kind of like a cool, wholesome environment, and then they'll kind of knock it off. But, um, you know, what do you think along those lines? Okay, so we need to allow the user to be able to quit here too. So we'll say if new expense category is equal to quote Q, right? We're going to call expense settings again, and we're going to clear, and we'll take this and we'll also put it here, method equal to that, and then we also need to provide them a prompt, right? So we'll say um, um, current expense categories, like that. Yes, settings. Perfect. Okay. Um, Coding Mountain Man says, or when negativity is usually a cry for help. Yeah, that's what I kind of as have also come to deduce here, is that a lot of the times if you just say hello to the person, they'll kind of be like, "Oh wow, he noticed me," and that's kind of cool. Yeah, channel is next. Little negativity. Surprisingly, there are a few crazies how that tell me water flux back. 99% are great in the shared stories. Yeah, honestly, you got to just take that 0.1% and just those are outliers, right? Like I say, just get rid of it. Not even consider that data. How videos change their lives. Yeah, you got to keep that cup half full. That cup 99.9% full, which is really cool. Everyone becomes negative at a certain breaking point. Your channel is next. I hope so, Coding Mountain, man. Thank you so much for that. You're awesome. How much for the CS50 online? If you guys are wanting to do the CS50, I highly recommend just doing the free version. There is no difference between the paid version and the free version between content. All it is just a paid certificate that allows you to be able to provide it on like your resume and stuff. But in my opinion, the actual certificate doesn't apply much merit and backing to your experience in the field. So I highly recommend just doing the course as a personal achievement, and on the free level, right? Hey Udham, I appreciate you. Hey, how's it going? Welcome in. Sulaiman, welcome. Sulaim, hopefully I pronounced that right. Or Bowles. Please tell me how to pronounce your name. I really would appreciate it, so I don't get it wrong. I think it's Suleiman Boles. Suleiman. I like that name, Suleiman. It's kind of like fancy. Okay. So we need to improve the display of categories, obviously. Um, so I'm going to say here, press Q to quit And then we'll do \n here twice, like that. Go here, settings menu, settings, add category, press Q to quit. So we need one here, right? Yes, settings, current settings, add category, current expense categories, press Q to quit. If I give Q here, we go back. Perfect. So now I'll just kind of mimic this over here. So print like so. Here, current methods, expenses.method. So I could probably refactor this into a single function, right? And just have these be f strings that can be inserted. So then we have new expense, press Q, new expense category. I'll copy this in here. Method, like so. All right, so we have clear, print, display of methods. If expense category, quit, expense settings, add new method, add category, perfect. So here, now we go here, yes, settings, add expense settings, add category. If I make this test, that shows it right here, back in the category. If I press Q, Q does not get added. If I go back to the category, oh, it did get added. Okay, so we need an else. Right, we need an else statement here. So we say else, do that, and then clear the terminal. Cool. So if you press Q, you do this. So we'll have to do that and say that. So I guess we could put this here, remove that altogether. Right, like that. So let's remove that. Or no, put this back here. Remove this like that. There we go. So now if we do this, run from start, yes. Settings, expense settings, add category, test, add category. It shows it there. If I press Q, go to add category. So it's still doing it. So we get new category if the new expense category is equal to quote Q. Oh, because it's going to be a title case. So capital Q. Right. So if I, yes. So rather than actually titling, I'll just do Q here. I'll just do Q here. I won't title here. I'll title here. Like so. So now the Q will be properly detected for lowercase. So yes, expenses, expense settings, add category, test, add category, cool, it's there. If I press Q, add category, and perfect. Nice. Test 2, add category, perfect. Now if I go add expense, test, add method, Q, method, perfect, test 2. Awesome. So now we have the user is actually able to hard code in their own expense methods and categories. So when they go to actually make an expense, it can cross-reference these already established expense methods and categories. You can auto-select a predetermined one that was hard-coded by the user. Or if it's new and not in the categories, we can also prompt then at that point to add it, right, if they want to, which is cool. Suleiman Boles, yes. Dude, this project looks sick. Awesome. I'm so glad you like it. Yeah, we've been building this from scratch live on the channel. We have over like 1,000 lines of code so far. We just crossed over that mark, not including our, data structures here. But we have, 1,000 lines of code here where we can successfully, let's go ahead and I'll just do a demo for you guys to show you real quick what's going on. So we'll go exit here. Yes, clear. All right, so for those that are new here, hello, thanks so much for joining me. My name is Michael. I've been teaching myself how to program for the past about 6, 7 months. I have a degree in human biology and a minor in chemistry. I graduated from Utah State University back in 2021. I got a job right after college as a formulation chemist for a biotech company where I make biological controls used in patient diagnostics. What they use to verify against patient data to have accurate, calibrations and reagents and things along those lines. So I'm kind of like that, like last stop check to make sure that they're providing patients with accurate information. They cross-reference against my samples to detect that, which is really really cool. So I enjoy that, but I also enjoy just learning new things and educating myself and teaching myself new things. So I find that computer science is something I really really am passionate about and learning more about. And so I've been teaching myself after my 9 to 5 job every day for the past about 6, 7 months, and I've been streaming every day for the past about coming up on 2 months now. We have a streak going, but I started the channel back in August, and we've come a long way so far. So we've written this whole program from scratch. If I go ahead and show you guys what's going on here, I'll go ahead and just remove what's going on, some of these information here. So if I go ahead and run this program, right, this is the Small Business Manager in Python by Michael Deming. This will be able to allow a business user to take in inventory items. They will then be able to convert those items into for sale items and sold items, updating various attributes accordingly. We can use the date time module to track, sale dates, to track, receiving dates, all of that. We use JSON and CSV to currently file IO to save these information into the future. And so let's go ahead and do a demonstration. So here we're prompted with just to actually enter and start the program. So yes. Now we have some options here in our main menu. We have an inventory, we have a transactions menu, and we have an expenses menu, and now we also have a settings menu. In our inventory menu, if I press 1, we have the ability to add items by also pressing 1. We can then also find and edit those added items, and we can just view the inventory as it is. So if I press 1 to add an item, I'll quickly come over here to our items.csv file to show you guys that it's being populated into this file. So I'll make this new item. Cost, let's say it cost $10. Now if I were to say ABC here, I would get an error saying that please use 0 or positive integers numbers for cost of 12, 1256, or 1200. So that means you can give either whole numbers or decimals. And so I can give 1256, or for just an example, size, if I say ABC here to get that error, it shows me the available sizes within this list. So I say it's a small, and I can use today's date by pressing 1, or I can make a custom date by pressing 2, and then the quantity is just 1. So upon finishing that creation of the add item menu, we populate and generate that item with all of its various attributes. Now as you can see here, we have some blank spots for when we actually update these items into for sale and sold. So which is really cool. Now you can see that the cost of the good associated with my rainbow CSV extension here by the colors is $1,256, not $12.56. Well, what's going on here is that we understand that floats can have various nuances with them, with rounding, and with currency we don't want preemptive rounding. We want exact numbers. So I convert the whole dollar amount into whole cents, or CENTS, cents, right? So US dollars gets converted into its total cents and then back to US dollars. So I do a split on the decimal if there is one. If it's just a whole number, I multiply by 100 to get the amount of cents or whatever. If it's just a decimal, the cool thing is with the decimal you can just concatenate the left and right side together to get the representation in an integer value, which is kind of cool, with just the property of US dollars and cents being factors of 100. So we can add items successfully. We can find and edit those items. So if I press 2 here, if I press item number, if I press item number that doesn't exist like 3, we get an error, item number 3 not found. If I press an item number, -1, like a one that isn't even in one, not found. If I press a non-int conversion, ABC not convertible to type int, we get that error. So we have that checking going on. So if I provide the number that we're looking for, number 1, we pull up that number 1 item with all of its attributes, and we can actually edit those attributes live within this while loop. So if I press, let's edit the item name to new name, right? Now watch right here, instead of new item, it's going to get changed to new name live right there, updating. It's a while loop that's going on under the hood right here. And like as you can see, right, that $1,256 is successfully being converted and displayed to us back to $12.56, not $1,256, right? And so we can edit all these. Now the active status, I will say, this is just a way for us to remove items from the system without actually deleting an entire row out of our database. If we remove an entire row out of our database and leave a gap, we now have a missing item number, and that could cause some errors through down the stream. So I decided to create an active status flag for removing the item from the database, but not deleting it from the actual system. So you can set inactive to active to false to basically not include this in any sort of statistical calculations for the business or whatnot. So if we go back to the main menu, that's the find edit, and then the view obviously just displays stuff to us. So we can go back to the main menu here and go to transactions in menu option number 2. We have the ability again to do an item search here via item number. Same thing happens if I press ABC, we get those same errors. So we're utilizing those same functions, which is really cool. And so if I press item number 1 here, we get item number 1 is selected. We have these attributes associated with it, similar to the find and edit function, but we have the options to list item for sale and transact item as sold. So if I list the item for sale by pressing 1, it will do a check to determine, does this item have a date listed, right? The date listed here is blank, so we can go ahead and do this. It will say use today's date. I'll say yes. All right, and it looks like I have a printing going on here. Somewhere I need to remove that. It looks like I'm printing today's date somewhere within the function. So I have a bug there. But listing price we'll say let's say we listed it for $25, right? And then boom, as you can see, that got populated just now by those updates, like 118 for today and 2,500 cents total. Right, and so that does that. Now if I go item search again within this menu for transacting an item, if I press item number 1 and bring it up, if I try to list it as for sale again, it will detect that this boolean is now false. There is data points for this listed listing date, right? And it'll say it's already listed for sale. Error, item number 1 is already listed for sale with this date listed. Really cool. Now I can list this item for sold though, because as you can see, the date sold is not filled in yet within this Boolean expression. So I'll say 2 here, use today's date, yes. Sold price, let's say we sold it for $100. Boom, and so and then we have select transportation method. So it's a standard shipping price of $5, and boom, we exit out of that. And as you can see, we have date listed of today, date sold of today, 10,000 cents or $100, standard shipping for the shipping method, and then 500 cents for the shipping price or $5. So really, really cool. And then I just have some placeholders in case we want to update some attributes later on. So that's the actual conversion of the items. Cheese Slice says, why not set up an actual database? Why not set an actual database? I don't know how yet. That's the real thing. Is honestly I just don't know how yet. So in CS50X that we're taking right now, we should get into SQL and stuff. So maybe we can set up something via SQL. I'm just personally, I just don't know how to do that yet. So hopefully we can get into that soon and actually implement it into our actual personal project here, which will be cool. Uh, Good catch on DB row. What do you mean, Coding Mountain Man? What's DB row? Database row. Cheese Slice, it's been a while. Glad to see you have almost 1K subs, dude. I know, isn't that crazy, Cheese Slice? Really, thanks to you guys so much for the support. You guys, following along to my channel here every day, interacting with me offline in the Discords, telling me you guys enjoy the resources, um, answering your guys' questions. It's really really awesome, and I really really enjoy the time that we get to spend together and interact. It's probably some of the favorite parts of my day. So I really appreciate you guys coming in here. But Cody Mountain, man, what do you mean on DB row? Yes, okay, gotcha. Talking about the active versus inactive. Yeah, so instead of having the user just delete an entire row out of our database, leaving a gap in our item number sequence, right? Because the item numbers are generated by taking the length of this, data structure and then determining the next item number by, incrementing the length by one. And so if we had a gap, we would have, incorrect item number sequencing and also just errors along those lines. Yeah, exactly, Cody Mountain Men. All right, and then really quickly, we have an expenses class, right? We added an expenses class here, which utilizes JSON. So rather than CSV, I wanted to try to get some experience with JSON. So we wrote this one using JSON, which was cool, in my opinion. And so if we go ahead and add an expense here with the expenses menu, similar to the item menu, but just with expenses, add expense, use today's date, amount of 10, description, let's say this was company lunch, category, food, method was the credit card, right? So like what we worked on earlier is I want to have this category, if food was not already instilled within that expense settings menu and hard coded by the user, then they would have the opportunity to add it to that set at this point. Same with the method here. Or else, like if it already had detected that food is in there, it would just say, okay, this is already a category that we already are, already have included. Now, we wouldn't have to kind of maybe account for spelling errors, like if like they typed in food with like an extra D or something, you would be like, do you want to add food to the category? Maybe display to them categories that already have similar representation. Maybe like, I'm not sure. I'd have to think about how we'd have to kind of filter like for various characters, like, you know, like try to find two characters out of the list that have similarity between other ones, but that's interesting, right? So then a note will just leave blank. And as you can see, once we populate this expense, it gets added into our data structure, our file here, JSON file. We can pull that expense back up by, searching for it, and we can search by amount, right? What if the user knows the amount? We can also search by the date, and we can also search by the number. So let's say that the user might not know the expense number because these are generated automatically under the hood, but they might know the date and the amount. So let's say that they know the amount that they spent on this expense. So let's say it was 1,000, right? Or no expenses found. So press any key. So we'd have to find edit expense amount. It would be 10, right? Because this is 1,000 cents, not $1,000. $10. Boom. One expense found with amount $10, right? Please select an expense. So we need to fix this right here to have two zeros. And so this just shows you all the expenses, like if you had duplicates for $1,000. So let me go out here and right, this would show you all the duplicates. So if I go ahead and copy this over, right, if I copy this, rather than doing that, let me go ahead and go like, oop, let me go here, yes. Expenses, add expense, yes. Let me make another duplicate with $10. Description, company, lunch, category, food, credit card. No, okay, right? So if I go find edit expense, if I go by amount, I give amount 10, it pulls up both of those expenses with amount of 10, right? And then it also shows me the date that that expense was purchased on, so I can cross-reference. If I have the amount, well, that means I probably can have the date, and so I can then say that, okay, that, but then the number really doesn't help us because the number doesn't, unless the user looked in the file and saw that this expense was number one, then they could use the number. But most likely the user is going to have either the amount or the date. And so that's we need these cross-referencing. Like that's why we're not expressing the amount again in here, but rather the date, because we're already saying that all of these have a 10 on their expense for amount, but the dates might vary for a cross-reference. So we'll just pull up number one, for example, and go back to main menu. So that's that. So if I go press 2 here for find edit, but I do it by date this time around, right? If I use today's date or 1/18/2025, it will pull up all of the ones found on 1/18/2025 for that date, and then cross-reference those with the amounts, which is really really cool. Timestamps to differentiate. Timestamp. Yeah, exactly. Kind of like a timestamp, basically. And so we successfully handle those duplicates of because you might have similar duplicate amounts or dates or whatever, right? So, but the number is always going to be unique though. So the number, if we press, here back to expense menu, find edit by number this time around, you can just give the number one and that pulls up expense number one. But the user might not know the expense number off the top of their head. Maybe they just have a receipt, right? So that's that. And so now I don't have a view set up yet, but we'll get that eventually. And so now we're at the point where we can start generating reports, which is really cool. Is we can, you know, I think another thing we need to do is we need to have, like a profit count, like a generator, like a class for like, generating the overall profit for the business. Like we'll just have a class for the business itself that will have all the various information pertaining to the self business. So like the revenue or the like the origin date or like the for creation or things like that. So definitely coming along nicely here. Little by little, like I say, this project has been built over the course of months, weeks to months here. It's a little day by day. It's not something. It's not those YouTube fallacies of I learned software engineering in 3 months and I work at YouTube now and I make $200 million. No, it's not true. That stuff is not true at all. This is the reality of it. Grinding through concept by concept, little by little, learning and teaching ourselves things. So anyways, we've been streaming for 3.5 hours here today on the 18th of January, 2025. We finished Harvard CS50X week 2 at the first half of the stream, and then we did a little bit of work on our small business manager and gave an overall demo of kind of what we got so far. So we've got a good working program for inventory, taking an inventory, finding and editing those items, converting those to transactions, and now taking in expenses, finding and editing those as well. So we have kind of a good structure going on right now, and we're making good progress here. So if you guys have been enjoying, documenting and following along to my journey here, learning programming, teaching myself after my 9 to 5 job every day, feel free to follow along and subscribe. We're coming up on 1,000 subs really, really fast here. Quickly here before I go, we are at 988 subs, so we're only 12 subs away from 1,000. So thank you guys truly so much for showing me that support and keeping me motivated here. Join my Discord down below, which is linked in my description of this stream, where I compile all of my study resources from Python Crash Course to Harvard CS50X. I provide links to all of my personal notes that I wrote in Markdown, to all my personal files for CS50, for the answers to my solutions, to my problem sets. Everything can be found in my Discord. I'm constantly updating it with more and more stuff. If you want me to add anything, please let me know some suggestions in the suggestions tab in the Discord. for things that you would like to see, for maybe languages that you want some more stuff on. But yeah, thank you so much for joining me tonight, you guys. I might maybe come on. Like, no, I won't give any promises because this probably won't happen. But I might do a late night stream, maybe like 10:30 p.m., 11 p.m. PST, of just putting on some lo-fi music and literally just probably not talking too much and just working on and just writing code. Just doing like an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours of just straight writing code on our projects here, and stuff like that. Just doing a pure just work session would be, I think, fun to do as well, for some of those double features. But I really appreciate you guys joining me today and supporting me. Again, join the Discord and follow along so we can continue chatting offline. And yeah, show me, and please show me your guys' progress in the Discord. I like to keep up with you guys and what you guys are building and working on, especially if you're in school. I'm kind of jealous about some of the classes you guys take and are learning about, because I had to teach it myself here. So thank you so much for joining me, you guys. I'll see you possibly later tonight for a double feature, a late night work session. But like usual, we'll be back tomorrow. I'll let you know in the Discord a time, and we'll probably watch the week 3 lecture of Harvard CS50X and continue on with maybe some neat code. I know we have a lot of users that have been or a lot of subs that have been really enjoying the neat code practice and wanting me to do some more problems in neat code. Um, but yeah, we're just, like I said, getting practice in all general areas. But thank you so much for joining me tonight, you guys. I'll see you later. I'll talk to you guys in the Discord.